Hi, everyone. This is Virginia with Butterfly Journey Human Services, Butterfly Journey Ministries, Doers of the Word Bible Fellowship, and this is Beyond 50 Wellness Channel. And I wanted to play one of my emotional wellness music. I have a project that I started the beginning of this year. Well, actually, it started about 3 or 4 months ago when I was learning. I'm still learning how to play guitar. And so I wanted to share some of this music with you all as an intro. This is a brand new teaching, brand new YouTube channel, Beyond 50 Wellness, and we're talking about learning different cultures, different ethnicity, multiculturalism. And I want to apologize and thanking you for your patience as I was very, very, very uh, behind in stuff. My husband got sick, even though he took the vaccine for COVID and he took a flu shot, he still got flu symptoms and he was sick for days. And so I had to take care of him. And thanks be to God, he's recovered. But when you take care of a loved one, like you're a caregiver for a family, a friend, you get behind in your own daily assignments and daily duties, like housework and washing clothes and washing dishes and cleaning the house. And and I got behind in that and in my business because I was taking time to take care of my husband. So thank you all for your prayers. He is recovered, he's better, he's back to work even. So I just want to apologize. I want to do these African American Black history, education, enlightenment teachings and sharing information every night. I want to do it every night, but I could not do it because my husband, got ill. And so thank you again that he's better and thank you for your prayers. And I want to just play this song here.
Customer service.
Okay, I'm gonna
Georgia's
have to
own
end it
credit
right here.
union,
I'll
or
come
two
right back.
others.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hey, Miss Kelly.
Who is this?
This is Denise at Georgia's own. How are you?
Oh, hi, Miss Washington, Denise. I just called this just to ensure you got the CD and my business card. I told you I'd come back
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah. Every time I try to listen to that voice message, it would give me your name, and I was searching for your name, but it would cut off. And I'm like, oh my god! So I kept saying, you guys, did anybody put anything on my desk? And I said, I have the most beautiful CD card. And I saw your name, and I was like typing it. So then I was like, okay, I know what they did. They didn't put the hyphen. They just typed it.
Oh,
Then I pulled you up, and I matched your phone number. So we didn't want to call any. So sometimes when your name is long and I'm hyphenated,
I
Washington Kelly
know.
too. Then I told them I'm Kelly Washington hyphenated. It does that. I was like, oh my god! So thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll chat. Thank
Anytime
you.
someone thinks about me, it makes my day. So
Oh,
absolutely, I appreciate it.
that's wonderful. I hope you enjoyed the music. It is a demo. It was my very first demo I did many decades ago. It was my first time recording, and I mean, please share and pass along. And I
Will.
yeah, and I really trying my best to get some customer base of the services that I offer to people. And so I don't know if Georgia's on got something for small businesses, like any kind of education and information to help small businesses.
Gotcha. Well, I know we do. But is your wellness or the mind guiding? So is that like inspirational music?
It's
Is it?
it's
I see some of it is
mhm.
aerobic training. I see
Yes,
the herbal
it's
wellness consultation. Okay.
yes, it's music,
And this your
movement, meditation.
website?
Yes, I have several websites, but that's the main one. Butterfly
Well,
Journey.
that'll give me something to do this weekend.
Oh, yes,
That'll give me something
Butterfly
to do this
Journey.
weekend.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Butterfly Journey Ministry is the main one, but I got a Beyond 50 Wellness website where it talks about nutrition and fitness. And then the Butterfly Journey Human Services is more like the ministry of helping widows and homeless and orphans, single parent, elderly. So I got several things out there trying to reach people, and So I'm thinking about going to the library and having like a free event so that people kind of know what I do and kind of get
I
to
always
see
tell
me.
people that's something you should do. That's because advertising is best with word of mouth.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of social media, but when I go out and I see people, I call it grinding to
Yes.
educate people on the things that they do.
Yes.
It shows more. I don't know, adultness and social professionalism for me. But look, I do gotta go. I'm gonna listen to you on my way home.
All right then.
I'm gonna call you on Monday and we'll talk. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Denise. Blessings to you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Okay. God bless you.
God bless you too.
Okay. Bye bye. Well, see, that's real life. I got a call from someone. I left a business card and my new, well, I should say my renew demo CD that I have this demo CD that I actually started and compiled together in 2005. And then the Heavenly Father opened the door for me to produce, meet a producer and someone to help me with my lyric writing in 2009. And the gentleman, he played the guitar and some other instruments. But the music I created and the lyrics I created, he just put the music together to my lyrics and he helped some of the lyric writing as well. And that was in Tennessee in 2009. So the Heavenly Father, and I know I'm bringing Butterfly Journey Human Services and Butterfly Ministry over to and Beyond 50 Wellness channel, just to let you know that the Heavenly Father will open doors. He will open doors if we're faithfully trusting and believing Him. And I know I'm getting off topic, but I wanted to get back to the song that I want to share with you that I created this past Sunday. And this is the intro, well, one of the intro songs into this Beyond 50 Wellness, as we're going to start picking back up, talking about different African American education, enlightenment. So here we go. It's the title of this one's called Walking in Town. Now, I just want to remind you, I am learning guitar, so it may not be perfect, but I'm on my way learning. So as this is playing in the background, it's just like 58 seconds, less than a minute. We're gonna pick back up in the questions, and we started out from this book to kind of do a refresher. This is called African American Answer Book, and it's the history section. It has 325 questions in it, and I wanted to go through all 325. We was doing 12 questions per night, but as I got behind on doing a lot of different things because taking care of my husband, I'm going to pick back up. We may have to hit the ground running and do more than just 12 questions. We may have to do 20, 25, even 30 questions a night. So what I do is I read the question, and then the next night, other than Saturday, because Saturday is my rest day, my rest evening, I will, I will give the answer the next night. So we are going to go to, in this book here I just showed you, we're going to pick up with question 39 to 51. So I'm going to read the question, then I'll give you the answer because the last video I did, I gave the question, and tonight I'm going to give the answer. So I'm going to go to question 39, and I'm going to go ahead and play this again. Okay, so 39. Approximately how many African Americans died in the Civil War? Was it A, 5,000, B, 70,000, C, 150,000? So what I do is I go over to the answer section and go to that number 39. And the answer is 70,000. Question 40. Now I'm not going to read the answers because I've read the answers in previous. I just did it for for question 39. So all right, so question 40. And again, I'm not going to read the answers because I gave the answers in the previous video. So I'm just going to give the answer. Martin Delaney, the first major in the U.S. Army, served in what war? Answer is Civil War. Question 41, which is true and false. The Mary Church Terrell House in Washington, D.C. was the residence of the first president of the NAACP or NAACP. Is that true or false? False. The correct answer is National Association of Colored Women. Question 42. What did Carter G. Woodson start in 1926? Answer: Negro History Week. Question 43. Approximately how many African American men and women served their country during World War II? Answer: 1 million. Question 44. It's true or false? By 1920, Harlem had become the unofficial capital of Black America, in which 2,000 African Americans live within an area of 2 square miles. Answer: true. Question 45. What African American educator also served as an advisor to 5 US presidents? Answer: Mary McLeod Bethune. Okay, let's go ahead and go to question 46. During Reconstruction, which is from 1867 to 1877, Congressman Thaddeus Stevens offered what strategy for dealing with freed slaves? And the answer to that is give each 40 acres and a mule. Question 47. Who was the first African American soldier to receive the Congressional Medal of Honor for his outstanding bravery? Answer: William H. Carney. Now we're going to turn the page to go to question 48. Who was the first African American to win the Nobel Prize for Literature? Answer: Toni Morrison. Question 49 is true or false? Constructed in 1857, Tuskegee Institute originated in the oldest campus building built by slave labor. Is that true or false? The answer is false. The correct one is Swain Hall, Talladega College. Another true or false, number 50. Blanche K. Bruce was the first African American senator to serve a full term. Is that true or false? It is true. Question 51. Alexander Cromwell was a 19th century, and the answer is civil rights leader. Now, we're going to go to some new questions that's going to begin. It's going to begin in 52 and onward. So, since we're a little bit behind and we need to catch up, play catch up, and no mustard is okay. It's a corny joke. Ketchup and mustard. Sorry, it's a corny joke. I'm sorry. Since we have to try to catch up on doing these, I'm going to try to incorporate a few more than 12. I've been doing 12 every night. I'm going to try to do 20, at least 12 or more. So I'm going to go to another source that talks about African American history. And this is the one I've been using, which I really enjoy this. It's called Brain Quest. Black History is Q&A. It has over 850 questions, 850 answers, challenging your knowledge of African American heritage. So I'm just going to just start out anywhere. Just going to flip through the cards here and just pick up somewhere and just read a few. So let's just go here. I'm not going to just, I'm going to go right here. Which NAACP leader said, quote, no American is required to earn his rights as a citizen, close quote. Was it Roy Wilkins or James Weldon Johnson? The answer is Roy Wilkins. Under his leadership, the organization grew to include 1,700 chapters nationwide. In 1895, was Mary Church Terrell appointed to the Board of Education in Baltimore, New York City, or Washington, D.C.? The answer is Washington, D.C., the first Black woman to hold such a position. She also co founded the National Association of Colored Women. Which country is the world's fourth largest island? Is it Mozambique or Madagascar? The answer is Madagascar, which also one of the most biological diverse places on the planet. Wow, have you been there? I never been there. Okay, in Lucy Terry Prince's poem about a raid in 1704 on Deerfield, Massachusetts, were the attackers British or Native American? The answer is Native American. The 16-year-old slave became America's first poet of African descent. What do we call the agreement that admitted Missouri to the statehood and forbade slavery north of its southern border? The answer is the Missouri Compromise, adopted in 1820. And lastly, from these brain quests, which athlete was the first Black to compete in the Olympics? Was it George Poig or William D. Hart Hubbard? It was George Poag, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name is spelled Poage. He won a bronze medal in the 400-meter hurdles in the 1904 Olympics. Now we're going to go to another history. This is called the African American History Cards. And I got these cards along with the book and the cards I just show you at the Atlanta History Center. And what I do is I just pull out some cards. I try to go in the order that I pull them out because I don't want to give you the same one. Okay, okay, I'm going to do a few here. These, let's do 4. I'm gonna hold up 4 cards here, pictures of 4 different people, and see if you can guess who it is. So there's a picture. Do you know who that is? She's running track. She's a track runner, track athlete. So it says on the back of this card that this is Wilma Rudolph. She was born in 1940 and she lived to 1994. She's an athlete. She was born in St. Bethlehem, Tennessee. Wilma Rudolph was the first female American runner to win 3 gold medals in the Olympic Games. She earned the title of world fastest woman by winning the 100-meter dash and the 200-meter dash and anchoring the 400-meter relay at the 1960 Olympics in Rome. It says these achievements would be considered remarkable by any standard, but in light of the fact that as a child, Rudolph suffered an attack of polio and scarlet fever that left her unable to walk without braces or orthopedic shoes until age 12. They are amazing. That should be so encouraging for anyone who's going through some physical challenges at a young age or old age. Rudolph's phenomenal accomplishments helped remove barriers to women's participation in track and field events. She was named the Associated Press Women Athlete of the Year and received the Dickerson Zaharas Award, among many other honors and awards. Considered one of the greatest female athletes in history, Rudolph was inducted into the National Track and Field Hall of Fame in 1974. So we're going to do three more of those cards. Okay, now who is this? You know who this is? She looks very beautiful. This woman name is Bessie Coleman. She was born in 1893 and lived upon this earth until 1926. She's an aviator. Known to the world as, quote, Brave Bessie, close quote, and the, quote, nerdy lady, close quote, Bessie Coleman was the first licensed African American pilot. Because her desire to enter flight school was denied in the United States, on the basis of her race, her gender, or both, she trained in France, where she received her license in 1921. She received her international pilot's license a year later. On returning to the United States, she planned to establish a flight school for Blacks, and she performed aviation stunts to raise money for the venture. She bought 3 airplanes and began touring the country. But tragically, on April 30th, 1926, Coleman's plane crashed and she was killed. At one of her flying exhibitions, Coleman refused to perform unless Blacks were allowed to use the same entrance to show as whites. So she refused to perform unless African American or Blacks were use the same entrance or coming through the same doors. So because back in her era, the African Americans, the Blacks were coming a different entrance versus the white counterparts, the white people. So that's Bessie Coleman. So we got 2 more. Now this one you may know because this is a very famous person, very famous picture. You know who that is. This gentleman's name is Frederick Douglass. He was born in 1817 and lived upon the earth until 1895. He's an abolitionist, an orator, reformer, and writer. Born into slavery and self-educated, Frederick Douglass escaped from bondage in 1838 and joined the anti-slavery movement. His powerful persona, unyielding drive, and skillful oration made him one of the movement's most compelling spokesmen. He also published an autobiography in 1845, founded and edited with M.R. Delaney, an abolitionist newspaper called the North Star, and served as U.S. Marshal and Recorder of Deeds for the District of Columbia and U.S. Minister to Haiti. Douglass's philosophy was far-reaching and all-encompassing. Quote, I am for any movement, close quote, he said, quote, whenever there is a good cause to promote, a right to assert, a chain to be broken, a burden to remove, a burden to be removed, or a wrong to be redressed, close quote. Whether it was women's rights, world peace, universal education, or prison improvement, Frederick Douglass took an active interest. He died in 1895 following a meeting on women's suffrage at the National Council of Women in Washington, D.C. That's Frederick Douglass. This is the last one we're going to do today as far as the cards. Who is this person? Looks like an educator, has a lot of books on his shelf behind him. He likes to read, look like. This is Ralph W. Ellison. He was born in 1914 and he lived upon this earth until 1994. He was a writer. Ralph Waldo Ellison is best known for his semi autobiography novel titled Invisible Man, 1952, the first novel to describe the racial climate of American society, particularly its attitudes toward Black men from the perspective of an African American. Born in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Ellison studied music at Tuskegee Institute. Interested in the arts and literature, he moved to New York City, where he became a protege of Richard Wright. Wright introduced Ellison to T.S. Eliot, whose poems made a profound impression on him. He joined the Federalist Writers Project and began submitting short stories, essays, and reviews to various periodicals. After serving in World War II, he wrote Invisible Man, which won the National Book Award for Fiction in 1953. Ellison also published a series of essays, including Shadow and Act, 1964, and Going to the Territory, 1986. Lectured worldwide on Black culture and folklore, and taught at several U.S. colleges and universities. He left a second novel unfinished at his death. This is Ralph W. Ellison. So those are the ones that we talked about this African American history. Now we're going to go back. Lastly, I know time is waning. I try to keep these less than 30 minutes, but I'm trying to catch up, hit the ground running, as they say. So we're going to pick up in question 52, and we're going to go to 72. So in this book, again, we're going to ask 20 questions, and I will give you the answers, and then Heavenly Father Yahweh as well, the next time I do the next video, I will provide the answers from this book. Beginning in question 52. Where did the name Jim Crow originate? A. Character in popular minstrel shows of the 19th century. B. Popular whiskey. Or C. A slave revolt slogan. Question 53. What landmark Supreme Court ruling required all railroad companies to provide equal accommodation for Blacks? A. Mitchell versus U.S. Interstate Commerce Act. B. Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka. C. Irene Morgan versus Commonwealth of Virginia. 54 is true or false. By 1800, more than 5 million slaves had been shipped to Africa from Africa to America. Question 55. The first indentured African servants arrived in Jamestown, Virginia in what year? A. 1619. B. 1668. Or C. 1715. Question 56 is true or false. Slave owners were encouraged to settle in the Carolinas by offers of free land, with the acreage based upon the number of slaves they owned. Question 57 is true or false. The slave voyage to Americas was known as, quote, the Middle Passage. Question 58. What was the name of the ship that made the first voyage from the North American colonies to bring Black slaves from Africa? A. Rainbow. B. Phyllis. C. Cloth or Clothlid. Clothlide. And that's Clothilde. Question 59. In 1990, who was elected mayor of Washington, D.C., becoming the first African American woman mayor of a major U.S. city? A. Anita Hill, B. Carolyn Mosley Braun, or C. Sharon Pratt Kelly? Okay, going to the next page. Question 60 is, who was the first African American to appear on the presidential ballot in all 50 states? A. Jesse Jackson, B. Lenora Fulani, or C. Shirley Chisholm? 61, true or false? The first major slave revolt happened in New York City in 1712. Question 62. A slave ship called Clothlide, or Clothilde, or Clothlid, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, please excuse me if I'm botching it up, was the last slave ship to arrive in America. Where did it land? A. Florida, B. Massachusetts, C. Alabama. What was the name of Martin Luther King Jr.'s first church? A. Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, B. St. Luke Episcopal Church, or C. Our Lady of Hope Catholic Church? Question 64. Who was the first African American woman to establish and head a bank? A. Madam C.J. Walker, B. Maggie Lena Walker, or C. Frances Ellen Watkins Harper? Number 65, true or false? Approximately 5,000 blacks served in integrated American units in the Revolutionary War. Question 66. In 1954, the U.S. Supreme Court issued a monumental decision against segregation in public schools in what famous case? A. Plessy versus Ferguson, B. Sacco versus Vanzetti, or C. Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka? Question 67, true or false? President Lyndon B. Johnson signed into law the Voting Rights Act on August 6, 1965. Question 68. How old was Martin Luther King Jr. when he was assassinated? A. 29, B. 39, C. 44. Question 69. In what year was Martin Luther King Jr. fatally shot on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis? A. 1963, B. 1968, or C. 1970? Question number 70, and I'm going to choose another emotional wellness, music, movement, and meditation while I'm reading these. Question 70. The first workers, both black and white, that Collins Purchase were called. Now, I'll read it again. Question 7 is very important. The first workers, both black and white, that the Collins Purchase were called A. Indentured servants, B. Slaves, or C. Hired hands? Question 71. By the turn of the 18th century, Virginians began importing slaves from West Africa at the rate of A. 1,000 per year, B. 5,000 per year, or C. 8,000 per year? Question 72 is true or false? In Before the Mayflower, and that is it's a title, In Before the Mayflower, LeRon Bennett Jr. estimates that because of a long history of intermarriage and blacks passing for white, approximately 20% of American whites have black ancestors, and 70 to 80% of African Americans have white and Native American ancestors. Question 73. When Cassius Clay converted to the Nation of Islam, he changed his name to A. El Haji Malik El Shabazz, B. Elijah Muhammad, or C. Muhammad Ali? Question 74. What legislators eloquently argument for President Nixon's impeachment drew national praise during the Watergate hearings? A. Jesse Jackson, B. Barbara Jordan, or C. Maynard Jackson? 75 is true and false. Elijah Muhammad was an African American Muslim leader who called for a separate African American nation. So we're going to stop there. We started 52 and went to 75. So y'all would have well, and I apologize, it's going over 30 minutes, but we had to, and we're trying to catch up with no mustard on these things of learning how we are all human beings. We are all related because we're all human beings, okay? We all need clean air, food, and water to live and survive and thrive in this planet Earth, living on this planet in this universe. So we need to learn how to appreciate each other, love each other, listen to each other, and respect each other and forgive each other. We all make mistakes. We all have said and done some things we should not have said and done. And I just want to say I saw something very interesting today when I was driving. I had went over to a fitness, and I'm sharing this because it's an emotional thing that I saw. I drove over to this fitness store to pick up some fitness shoes, and I was leaving the store and I had gotten in my car, and you know how you get in your car and you stop at the outing or the intersection trying to get into traffic. So I have parked and I was stopped with my signal light on to turn right to get into traffic. So traffic, was coming down the road and down the highway. And as I was stopped, looking to my left for an opening to turn right into traffic, this lawn and garden truck was turning into the same area that I had stopped to try to turn out into traffic. And I saw the most interesting thing, and it's very profound because I can understand why some people will rise up and have emotional heightness against someone because of the bitterness and the anger and the frustration they're going to. So when this lawn and garden, like one of these lawn and garden trucks, it's really big and they have like lawn equipment inside, and so they had the name of the business on the side and the truck, and the guy was turning. As the guy was turning into the entrance where I had stopped and I was looking for traffic to turn right. I mean, they had these big windows. The windows are very big because the big truck, so I can see inside. And because it was very close, so he was coming close to turn in. And as he was turning in, there was two guys in the seat. The guy driving was turning, and the guy in the passenger seat, for some reason, he was there. They had been arguing, and the guy in the passenger seat just threw outside the window of just an empty carton, like an empty cup that he had just finished drinking something. He just threw it out the window on the ground. And then he lunged at the guy. He lunged at the driver like he was going to hit him or something. I said, "That's quite amazing." And he looked very angry. He looked like he was going to hurt the driver. And all I did was shook my head, and but I prayed a quick prayer for them, and I thanked the Heavenly Father God didn't lose control and hit my vehicle because the other guy seemed like he was angry and going to hit him. So it was a very interesting thing that I've never seen before, and so that's why it's important that when we have a disagreement with someone, we have some type of miscommunication, or we don't understand, or we have some misinformation, and we're trying our best to gather information, trying to solve the problem that we're facing. We may be going through a family difficult matter with our children, grandchildren, our spouse, husband, wife. It could be something terrible that we're experiencing in our job, our company, our business. it could be working from home or working for another company. We could, whatever the matter is, we need to try to come back to center, meaning we need to calm down, go into a place where we can gather our thoughts and gather our emotions together and try to come to a peaceful and ourselves before we make a decision, before we do or say something we may regret in the future. We may say some harmful words, or like this guy in this truck, he's lashing out and like he's about to hit the driver because he's so angry. I saw the angry look on his face, and his body gestures were very angry, and like he wanted to harm or hurt the guy who was driving the vehicle. So we need to come to a place where we say something, a prayerful meditative that will help us calm down and then regroup our thoughts, and so we can address the matter in a loving, respectful, calm manner. Because sometimes people make decisions because they're emotionally heightened and they're frustrated and they're fearful, and they don't understand it, that they don't have all the facts, and they may have some misinformation, something that's not true. And so that's why it's important that, and I'm there with you. We need to come back to a center of calming down and be peaceful and respectful toward each other, no matter who or what they are. And because we're all human beings and we all want to live a life that's successful and healthy, and we want our family, our children, our grandchildren to be healthy and successful. And so let us try our best to be one in respecting, loving, and forgiving each other. Thank you for your time. Again, I apologize for spending so long. May the Heavenly Father bless you. Thank you for watching these Beyond 50 Wellness educational program. This is the African American Black History Education Enlightenment Project, and this is part 5, and we hopefully will continue on even past February, the Black History Month. We may go into March and still talk about Black history because all history is important, no matter if it's African, American, Black history, Irish, English, if it's European, if it's any other kind of history. All cultures, all ethnicities, histories are important because we all come from some different type of multiculturalism and background, and we all are related because we are all human beings. Thank you again, and may you have a wonderful, blessed evening. Thank you for watching. Take care.